Oh, oh. Have I begun? We just wait for this to start. Also, I have to separate this over here real quickly, like over here, into the side, make sure that it's working. Oh my god, it's working. Nice. All right. I don't even know if I like want to do this or not. I just was like, oh yeah, I've got a couple hours. I guess I could do this. I was kind of screwing around with these and was trying to find one that had every single stupid adult animated cartoon from the last like I don't know 30 years. This looks like it's got most of them. So let's get started. Where do I start here? The Simpsons. Okay, The Simpsons are A tier. We may move things up and down a little bit, but like I'll just go ahead and start it out. King of the Hill, Family Guy, South Park. These are easy mode ones. Duckman. Let's go B tier on Duckman. Beavis and Butthead, American Dad, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Daria, Space Ghost, Harvey Birdman, C-Lab, Frisky Dingo. It's been a long time since I saw that. Venture Brothers, Boondocks, Robot Chicken, Squidbillies, 12 Ounce Mouse, Rick and Morty, Xavier. I can't. What the fuck is that? Is that Metalocalypse? It's Metalocalypse. Futurama, BoJack Horseman. F is for Family. Disenchantment, which I actually haven't seen. I can say that for sure. Big Mouth, Dr. Katz, Home Movies. Brickleberg, I haven't seen that. I don't even know what that is. Ugly American, it's been so long since I saw that. Okay, that was like D tier. Lucy, Daughter of the Devil, same thing. Bob's Burgers is like B tier. Dude, what is this? Like, what is that? Just a C and an H. I don't know what that is. I can't even say that I haven't seen that. I don't know. Cleveland Show, Mission Hill, a lot of B. You're gonna get a lot of B tier in here. I'm not even adding any more to A tier now. Clerks, the animated series, that's like a D. The Critic, ooh, okay, B tier. MTV Downtown, ooh, it's been forever since I saw that. C tier. Alan Gregory is D, or I'll just put it on C. It's like I'm not that offended by Alan Gregory. Adult party cartoon as well, and Napoleon Dynamite show is an F tier. It's good, it's fine. Okay, Brothers Grunt is C tier. Mr. Pickles is D tier. Little Bush is C tier. Super Jail is B tier. The Nut Shack. Ooh, most people would disagree with me, but that's C tier. Queer Duck. I think I've seen Queer Duck one time. The cartoon. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna be in the city. Same thing. I don't know what CH is. I'm sure that this is something I know what it is, but I can't tell because they zoomed in too fucking far. Spawn McFarlane. Hi, it's me. Todd McFarlane, and I just want to show you my drawings here that I drew of Spawn. Spawn is actually a really cool. Have you seen that shit? Okay. Like, there's, I don't know if, like when he's talking, like, fuck, man, I don't think you can find it here, but there's like, if you ever watch the Spawn TV show, it like cuts to it'll cut to him like talking about the character, but he's like sitting at a desk and he's like, "This is my character Spawn. He's really cool. I really liked him." And then yeah, he's he's like undead and stuff, and like it's like what the fuck? It's just like a little funny, like yeah, it's just my character Spawn. He's real cool. I like look at these drawings I made of him. He's really cool. Like you're just like, what the fuck? That's not animated. Crank Anchors isn't animated. Crank Anchors is like a C. Happy Tree Friends is like it's like a D. Stripperella. It's been forever since I saw that. That's also like a D. Hard Drinkin' Lincoln I've never seen. Spicy City I've never seen. The Brack Show is an A. Gary the Rat, I don't know what that is. I don't know what Legends is. I don't know what this good dry Bob thing show is. I have no idea what that is. Border Town is like a C. Never seen this or that. Forget about it. Oh my god, it's like a D. It's not bad, but it's not good. The Spawn Show, that's like a B. I remember watching that as a kid. It's like definitely not great, but it's probably rewatchable, like at least on some level. Oblongs is also a B. It's pretty good. I don't Good Vibes. Oh god. Good Vibes is a D. We'll figure out the other rankings in a minute here, but I don't know what I've not watched that, and I've not watched what is this other Father of the Pride. I've not watched Father of the Pride. I know what that is. Haven't watched it. Haven't watched that. I've never watched Life and Times of whatever that is. I don't know what that is. The Castlevania show I've not watched. 3 South is a D. I'm sorry, 3 South fans. I tried to watch that show and I was like, dude, this is like watching paint dry, and like and also Everyone Loves Raymond at the same time. China, Illinois is like an A show. I like China, Illinois. It's a good show. Drinky Crow Show is like a D show. Samurai Jack, not a kid. It's a kids show, but I'll put it in B. Clone High, I also I'm not particularly a fan of. I don't really think it's that good. Some people really love that shit. I've actually watched a lot of this, but like I'm not a big fan. It's like okay. I don't know what that is. I've never watched The Head. Never watched The Max. I don't know what that is. I've not watched Major Lazer. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Drawn Together is a C. Lucas Bros moving on. Wait till your father gets home. Wait till your father gets C. Baby Blues, I remember watching this as a kid. It's such a D show. That's a D show. The PJs is a D show. I'm like just going in like now. Aeon Flux is like a C. I'm not a huge fan. I know people love that shit, but like it's okay. Dude, okay. I've never watched the undergrads, and what I've seen, I literally could not like. It's like somebody who peaked in high school and the peaked in early college made a show and like just promoted that show forever. Celebrity Deathmatch is a B. I've not watched that. Moral Oral is an A. Ballmasters is... I've watched some Ballmasters. Ballmasters is a B. Like, it's okay. It's fine. Wonder Shosen's not an animated show, really. But I'll put it in A tier. Is this Sonichu, the animated series? Like why is Sonichu the animated series on here? Also, that's a B. That's fine. That's good. Like you can give Corey some props. Shorty's watching Shorties. It's been so long since Shorty was watching Shorties is an A tier. People don't know about that. By the way, if you want to watch some good animated shit that's like real adult animated comedy. It's like actually just straight up comedy. Shorties watching shorties is like probably your best bet if you're just like if you've never watched any of these and like you want to just like not have to fuck around with like crap writing and you just want to see bits and gags. That's a good one. Haven't seen Frankenhole, Camp or Freak Show. What is that? Freak Slow? Okay. Soul Quest Overdrive is a B. Like I don't. O'Grady I've never watched. Like all these, a lot of these I've not watched. So a lot of them I don't even know what they are. Like I don't know what that is. I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says. This is Perfect Hair Forever, which is like a C tier. Crash Canyon, like I've never watched that. Mike Tyson Mysteries is like also a C tier for me. Hot Streets, never watched that. What is this? I don't know what that is. Something it's close enough, which I've watched some of, but I've only ever watched in clips, and from what I've watched, it's C tier. I'd rather watch The Nut Shack, to be honest. I really honestly would rather watch The Nut Shack. There's some actually really funny jokes in The Nut Shack. I've watched some of it, but like I'm just gonna put it in the haven't watched, no opinion, because I don't think it's an adult animated show. Like same, I don't know about that or what that is or what that is or what that is. The Ricky Gervais animated show is a B, which is it's just Carl Pilkington. Final Space, Mike Judge, was Tales from the Tour Bus. I'm trying to pronounce a word. That's an A. I have watched that. Dick Figures I never watched. I don't know what that is. Neo Yokio I never watched and never will. Machu Picchu, Stone Quackers. Again, like I don't really think of those as like the same thing. Stressed Eric, Assy McGee, which is like D. I have watched that. Full English, I don't know what that is. Pacific Heart, E. C, I don't know. High School USA. I don't know what that is. Life's a Zoo. Trailer Park Boys, the animated series, haven't watched it. Spider-Man is just I don't know why Spider-Man's in here. Gen Z. Chico and Guapo. DJ and the Froze. Stroke and Something. Wrestling Alliance. Dude, there's so many of these that I've just never seen. Like I've watched Red and Blue, but like Red versus Blue, but like it's been so long I would have to literally like recall memories from like my childhood. Spy Groove, Slim Shady Show, Mother Up, Neighbors from Hell, Super Drag. I mean, again, I don't know. Out There, Bob and Margaret. I have watched, and that's F tier. That's like you actually get to be a little bit above BoJack Horseman for being like completely just a waste of time. Harley Quinn show I haven't watched. I have not watched that, or I've watched some of Tuca and Birdie, and like I'm not the demographic. I don't get it. Haven't watched that. Bless the Hearts, haven't watched that. George Liquor, D tier. Ripping Friends, also D tier. Code Monkeys I've watched also before and like can't. I didn't watch Ed's World or Primal. I didn't watch this thing. Tripping and the Riff. Weekend Pussy Hunt and Solar Opposites I never watched. Rick and Steve, I don't know. Something Shut Down, something, I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. That's Cake? That's Cake, okay. Never watched Cake. Slacker Cats, never watched it. Midnight Gospel, haven't watched it. Inside Job I watched. Whoa, did I just throw it in there somewhere? Because I have watched some of that. No, it's there. That's like C tier, so it's fine. Writing's not that bad. Central Park, did not watch it. Invincible has never watched it. And like now we're kind of like getting into territory where it's kind of like I've just not watched a lot of that shit. Yeah, nope. The rest of it, it's like that's basically it. Smiling Friends is A tier. So okay, we can clearly tell that this is mostly based on my own tastes, but Um, we'll start out with S tier. S tier, obviously, we're going by writing style and unique approaches mostly. So like the reason why I picked these as the S tier is for two reasons. One is artistic merit. So who has the best artistic merit, where it's like they made the most artistic choices for their decisions as both writers and as animators and as artistic, just in general, like art, music, everything, just the whole thing. So starting out with Venture Brothers is at the tip top, mostly because the writing style was so specific to a group of people, specifically two guys, and so specific to um, people being able to play off of each other from having like a very similar style of humor where there's like a primary focus on recalling the past into the jokes, and definitely a huge amount of the stuff that people love with this sort of thing, right? Like if you're making an animated series, you need to be able to be a little bit more affectionate and caring about the references that you make in your content. I think the Venture Brothers did that very, very well. And the reason why I think that it shines above everything else is because beyond everything else, the writing actually works well for the show itself. The gags don't have to essentially be related to references for things, and they're not. And this is the main reason why I picked this one as number one, is that there's never actually a sense of it being like truly like stoner humor, stupid interjectionary, like it's just a show about something, and then stuff is written within a world. And that's something really important. Then you skip to 12 Ounce Mouse, which is the opposite of that, which is basically just like, how do you make the show world trick people into laughing and being like, how do you make this, how do you make something funny and engaging and entertaining with the least amount of effort possible? And a lot of it is in the ideas of the episodes and the way that the show is designed that leaves a lasting impression and a memorable experience on people. And it's one of those shows where you have to watch it more than one time to actually understand what's happening in it. It's almost like a Twin Peaks style show. It's like that kind of thing. That's the main reason why I picked that. But it has the same sense where it's like there's a writing team and group of people that came together to be able to make this. And then like there's this like you could tell that like the people came together and like actually collaborated in such a way to make a really interesting and unique thing. Same thing happens with Home Movies. Home Movies is almost entirely like unscripted dialogue that's been like pieced together, and then an animated show is made out of that. That makes it so incredibly unique, even though there's been shows that have done that. But like before, Home Movies, this was not a viable concept. You couldn't do ad libs. Everything was pretty much written, otherwise writers obviously would hate you. But like the other thing is like you couldn't get like real honest dialogue out of it. And Home Movies broke that barrier down and allowed for a lot of even stuff within the same field to be able to be a little bit more experimental in just the delivery of the lines, and be a little bit more flexible to the point where like the gags actually focus more on the delivery of the line than like the actual animation or background design or any of that stuff. Although that helps, and I think that later on in the series, which really solidifies it. The reason why you really pick these series is because they kind of improved as time went on, and in some cases just like got better to the point where like a number one, they've all ended. Number two, they all improved over time. So, but they all have very good starting points, especially 12 Ounce Mouse, which has one of the best opening episodes of a TV show ever, and Home Movies, which has some of the most interesting first season animation with squiggle vision that you've ever seen. And the A tier comes down to more of like the concept of like humor in a show, where The Simpsons is your baseline for most of this stuff, right? Like The Simpsons has everything that you would possibly want from an animated TV show. You get your references, your larger than life thing, gags, and everything, just larger than life. And then the cast, the cast of characters that you can have are so wide and varied and so just like rich that it's super important. Now I didn't put it at S tier because it's still fucking going on and it doesn't get better, and that's a problem to me. Like I feel like if you're going to make a show, you have to get better as time goes on, and if you just keep making the same thing over and over again, or if you like have the same writers and then like the same voice actors and the voice actors start sounding different like that, like you, unless you were like able to switch the characters out and put new characters in, it's hard, right? King of the Hill I actually put in A tier too, and I think that's because there's a specific kind of writing style that is met in that show, where I don't think any other show on the entire list comes even close to where it's almost real. Like it's real slice of life writing. It's much more surreal from that fact. There are episodes of King of the Hill that are so funny they're like side splitters. There are episodes that are also really just not even that funny at all. They're more serious, and I think that it's one of the few shows that did end at the right time, and I don't know why they're trying to bring it back. But it's like right now it's at A tier. If you want to make it bad, it could go to B. We don't know. Family Guy is also one of those, but Family Guy is weird because I think that the quality's actually stayed relatively high with Family Guy. And it's a gag show, so like as time has gone on, people have become more interested in clipping it and watching it in individual clips. And it almost works better like that. If you had just taken every single related clip and watched it in sequence as opposed to watching the show as a normal show, it actually works better. And that's the reason why I put it at A tier, is that it's a show that's working better now with the advantages of the internet. Like you can just watch like in small snippets, and you get everything that you need, and you're pretty much good to go. And with South Park, I think that it's just one of those shows that, like, even though it's still going on, the first few seasons of it and even some of the middle seasons are written so insanely well and hold up so good that they'll stay in, like people will study them as great sources of writing. Beavis and Butthead is just a classic concept that like the show itself is such a good show, like where I think that even at the time, like it's hard to have characters like that. Even now, like they try to bring them back and they just doesn't have the same charm. But like I'll say A tier for back in the day. And of course, like the video watching thing is really where I think that they shine. And I wish that when they brought him back that they just watched more music videos. They didn't watch YouTube videos and things like that. I get it, but it's to me, I feel like having this general opinion from two people just bashing and making fun of things would be really cool. And I think that like with the way that things are now, like there's actually a possibility that you could share and spread your own kind of little version of that and have it be like, hey, like here, like this is like kind of our thing. I think it could come back. And Aqua Teen is just a really good written show where the characters are actually not that important in the show sense so much as they're important for the gags themselves. And once again, it goes back to the home movies, the concept of like, maybe the lines are not as much improvised, but the writing is definitely more improvised, and they worked out quite a bit for that. But of course, the reason why I don't put it in S tier is because it's very much stupid humor more than it is like really well written humor. Same for the Brack Show, but the Brack Show I find to be one of the few shows that I just think that the Brack Show was written so well for its time, and in the sense that it is a stupid parody of a 50s sitcom. I liked it a lot as a kid, and I've rewatched it since, and I still like it. I think that it's and the characters all are truly funny in like a serious stupid way, and in a similar way to Aqua Teen Hunger Force. But the show is, because it didn't go on forever, like it actually is pretty like short and sweet. China Illinois is the main reason why I like China Illinois is actually because the writing isn't the only thing. It's like there's this animation aspect, so there's a character writing aspect to it that's very good, and then these characters are interesting. Like that's like Baby Cakes. You're like, oh, it doesn't make sense for him to be interesting, but then because of his situation with the dad, and then like making him like actually pretty smart, but he's just like backdated, like childish. That's the sort of thing that makes it really interesting. Now, Moral Oral, we can talk about. I could talk about China Illinois all day. I actually really, really like that show. Moral Oral, it's more like you have the animation style, the serious tones, everything about that A stock, great stuff. I would put it at S tier, except for the fact that I just don't actually like the show as much as other people like the show, I feel. And it's short. And I think the other reason is because there's like a preachiness to it that I don't think that needs to be there. But really good show, funny, and I think it's more of the like the humor when you're watching something like that. You're like, okay, should I take this seriously or should I not? That's the real question that I have. It's like, should I take this? Should I do it? Should I make a mega planet? I don't know. I really don't know. But like, yeah, no, Moral Oral is one of those shows where like I've rewatched it a couple times, and it's like every single time I watch it, I'm like, oh, okay, I do pick up on other things, but I like don't know if I like the fact that I pick up on other things. Like if it makes the show just more preachy and like more like, okay, like But the first few episodes in the first season are like really, really good. I love Wonder Shows, and I love like just stupid, insane social commentary stuff, and I love puppets. I don't love them enough to watch stupid crap on Tubi, but like I do like Wonder Shows enough to want to watch that. And yeah, no, like that's one of those shows where like when I remember watching MTV2 at my grandfather's house, and like this was like on a lake house, and he was getting satellite TV, and I remember watching it over there, and I was like, oh, this is so good and bad at the same time, because I didn't understand any of the jokes, but like just it's so weird. Now, yes, everybody's going to be like, why is Shorty's watching Shorties in here now? Shorty's watching Shorties is a compilation of retold stand-up bits, and I'm a big fan. I actually really liked that show as a kid, and I think that still to this day, if you rewatch watching Shorties, you probably will have a pretty good time compared to a lot of the other shows that are below this list. Smiling Friends, I put in A tier just because I feel like shows that focus on the art and writing at the same time have this power to compel people further within it, and of course create like crazy fucking fervor in people. People love that show, and I like it a lot. There hasn't been an episode so far that I really didn't like. There have been some. I mean, the last episode that they made was like a bullshit episode, but like I get that, like whatever, because it's a joke. But like that's the whole thing. Is like I think that's the evolution of where things are going. It's like you got out of the nuclear family, and you're coming out of like shows about people doing work, which is like I don't really get why that's necessary. Like why people want to watch a show about people like working all the time. It's like such a weird, like you get off work and you want to watch people do work. I don't know. But yeah, no, Smiling Friends is also about people doing work, but it's just like they don't actually ever do any work. It's just gags. Like their job is like literally to just be goofy, I guess, and like figure out solutions for people, which is like what happens in the show. I don't know. But the animation aspect, it's the collaboration. That's like the main thing. It's like all of these shows, with the exception of Shorties Watching Shorties, which is the collaboration with stand-up comedians, all of these shows are about the collaborative effect and being able to make this thing through good staff writing and being able to write a good show. Lastly is Tales from the Tour Bus by Mike Judge, which I just like in general because I like music. So just in general, I like that. B tier, so we're going down. So this is like I would watch this, like I just like if I wanted, like I just watch it just because. So starting out is Duckman. Duckman's great. It's like surreal, 90s show. I think that I didn't put it in A tier because it's a little hard to digest, and it's like one of those shows where you don't really want to just sit there and binge watch it all, unless you're in the mood for that. It's kind of depressing. So I don't really choose to watch Duckman all the time, but it's one of those shows that was written pretty well. The animation style is really interesting. I do like that. I can't even pronounce the name, but like that fucking Rugrats style. I like that stuff. Some people hate that stuff, but like, I like it. It's good. The writing's pretty good. I don't want to say it's like funny though. That's the thing. It's like not that funny of a show. It's more of a surreal thing. So, American Dad I think has good gags. American Dad has like some of the best writing. I would almost put it in A tier. It has some of the best writing for one of those style shows. And I think a lot of the gags that have been put in there is because there's just so many episodes. It's like, okay, it has to be B tier because there's just too many, and like there's too many. It's more of a hit or miss thing. But when it does hit, it's really good. Like the writing really works for these characters, and it's just so similar to Family Guy too. But like there's some stuff that actually works better and makes more sense, and of course you can do the more non-realistic things. Without having a cutaway gag, like you could actually have a longer gag. So yeah, it's good. Space Ghost, classic show. Love Space Ghost. The thing about Space Ghost though is that I was never like a huge fan of it when it was on air. I was always a little too young, and I actually really like the show, but I think that it's one of those things where like, when you rewatch it, it's like you would have to be in the right mindset. Like you have to smoke a lot of fucking weed to get to the point where you're like, yeah, I totally really understand what's going on here. Squidbillies though is like, it's weird. It's like the opposite. There's like a thing that happens like where you either really like it or really don't like it. And you either get it and it's like, okay, this is like a weird parody about it's not just the South, but like poor people in America, and the commentary that goes on is like across the board really probably some of the most like intense social commentary that has ever been put in anything that Adult Swim ever did. And it's a show about a racist squid, and it's good. It's good. I'd even say it might be A tier, but like it's hard to say. Then Rick and Morty, okay, Rick and Morty has some good seasons. Like the first couple seasons are pretty good. The first 3 seasons, I have not watched the rest of it. In fact, I'd probably put it in C tier, but the first couple seasons are still pretty good. Beyond that, I actually don't have anything else to say. It's like just a show about some goofy characters. Xavier Renegade Angel, which is like the classic weirdo show on Adult Swim, has some funny gags, some real like good bits in it, and I like it. It's not A tier, but like it's worth a watch. Metalocalypse, I think if you are a metal fan, it would be an A tier or an S tier even, but I'm just not that interested in metal culture as much as you may think. The gags are actually really well written. The music is pretty good, but like, again, the main reason why it's in B tier versus A tier and stuff like that is because it's kind of more of a goofy, like, gag-based show where it's more of a like a platform for something else, which is this music thing that they do in the show. So that's on that. Celebrity Deathmatch. I loved Celebrity Deathmatch when I was a kid. This is just like self-explanatory, and I don't think there's no explanation needed. It's just a funny concept that works. Samurai Jack, like again, that's a kids show, but like they put it in adult context, I guess. Like, oh, like he has sex now. I don't know. Like, it's been forever since I watched the reboot or the final episodes. I think with Samurai Jack, my main thing was the first season had like a major effect on me because it almost there's almost like a Quentin Tarantino thing going on with Samurai Jack, where it's like all the like visualizations and like the way that the shots are lined up and everything's just like an homage to like other cinema. But like absolutely, because of that, absolutely nothing is really original or unique about the show. So you look back on this stuff and it's like hard to tell if it's from Samurai Jack or if it's from some other thing, because you might get confused with like literally some other stuff. So that's on that. And so Samurai Jack has never been like a super big thing for me, even though like I did watch that, and I do like the animation style, and I think that the show was written pretty well. But it's like there's not a whole lot of writing. It's more of like just like writing out the action and what happens. So it's more like video game writing than TV writing. It's kind of like that, but not bad. Ricky Gervais show. It's Carl Pilkington. It's funny. That's it. That's all you need to know. Mission Hill would be higher if it wasn't for the fact that like the show kind of doesn't go anywhere, and then like there's not that many episodes of it, and it could have gone a lot in a different direction, but like it's more of a time capsule, like of a time and a place, like inner city, late 90s, early 2000s, .com bubble, right before the bust, and like like ska music was highlighted for some reason. Like that's the kind of thing that's so weird that doesn't make any sense to me, but that's in there. YOLO Crystal Fantasy, I like that show a lot. I think that this was one of those shows where like you didn't think you were gonna like it, and then you watched it and you're like, oh okay, because you're like, okay, some Australian stuff, but then like you watch it and you're like, oh okay, this is actually really funny. And then he ended up doing Smiling Friends, so it's like, okay, this is pretty good. Bob's Burgers, I liked Bob's Burgers a lot the first couple seasons, but then the singing started happening, and that knocked it down a peg. So it's like the writing in Bob's Burgers is really good, and I like it a lot. The singing is unfucking necessary. It's like just this is like me bringing up the last RFS, where it's like, this is not a platform for your animation. This is a platform for something else. But Bob's Burgers didn't do that. Bob's Burgers started out as just an animated show. They ended up putting all the music stuff in there because I don't even know why. I'm guessing they wanted to sell CDs. That's my only assumption, is like they needed some method to sell something else. And like I just don't know why. I think maybe it's because H. John Benjamin was doing a jazz, like a fake jazz thing, but then like I just don't get it. Like it's weird. The Critic, the reason why I put Critic at B is because I actually only ever watched it one time. And I got the gags and I like laughed at it, but I was like, okay, yeah, this is like whatever. And it's also of a time and a place that doesn't really work too much in nowadays time. So it's a little bit weird, but I might need to rewatch that. And Super Jail, I think mostly I put it B tier because Super Jail is like almost like China, Illinois, in the same, like you have this cast of characters, and then you have this I don't know what that was. And then you have this like this cast of characters that's like in Super Jail, it's the warden and all these people, and then like all the weirdo jailed people. And in China, Illinois, it's like students and faculty, right? And it's the level, it's like how much you ramp up how crazy they are. It's the fact that the people that are supposed to be normal are crazy that makes it funny, versus the people that are not crazy in the normal, in the crazy that's normal, doesn't, that doesn't make it as fun, like funny, because then, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about at this point, but that's what I mean, is like it's not as funny because like they're all crazy, but there's like extreme gags from because of that craziness. Todd McFarlane's Spawn, literally just because I watched this as a kid and I thought it was badass, and I have no idea if it's actually badass. I just put it in there, and I mostly put it in there because of the Todd McFarlane parts where he's like, "Yeah, I'm drawing Spawn." That's the main reason why. It's like not even because of the actual animation. Same thing with Black Dynamite. It's like because of the movie. Like the movie's good. I don't even know about the show. I've watched like a couple times. It's okay. Oblongs is good. It could be higher. Like if it wasn't for the fact that like they really didn't do that much with the show, and it's a very like basic written show, but like the concept's good, and like the animation's really good for what it is, and the writing was pretty good. Ballmasters, for a parody show, it's like the same thing as Super Jail. I'd put it higher than Super Jail. I like Ballmasters more. Sonichu the Anime, little not totally not related to any of this because it's totally not a real TV show. But unless you're gonna put this in here, you may as well put the S tier, which is the Sonic Underground episodes that Tamers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 made. You may as well put that there, but they didn't do that. So we get Corey's and Mr. Spaz Kids Sonichu the Animated Series. There's really nothing to say about that. That's just like a gag show that was written like about the whole experience of Chris Chan. And it was like entirely completed basically in like 2012. So like if you want to go watch it, go watch it. It's pretty funny. And Soul Quest Overdrive was an Aqua Teen Hunger Force spin-off show where it starred H. John Benjamin, David Cross, and I think Craig Ferguson. What was it? Soul Drive. Who was in that? Soul Quest. I'm like, who was the voice? Gavin McInnes. I'm like a retard, man. Oh yeah. Because I was like gonna say, I was like, why would it be like somebody putting on a voice? But then that makes a whole lot of sense. And then and Christian Shaw, but that's obvious. This was before it's so crazy that like that's when like that guy wasn't like just internet famous person. That's like still doing real comedy. Like before, you're just like straight up like 1000% yelling at everybody about like things that everybody already knows about, which is why like nobody should ever do political stuff ever. Like it's just pointless. It's like just like it ends up being just people like just literally trying just being like, I control you. Like, nah, it's fucking doing, because you just shut the fuck up and walk away. I don't know. But that's me just talking about Gavin McInnes for a second. I have no actual opinion about any of that stuff. And also Vice was pretty funny back in the day. Yeah, so that's B tier. C tier is more of like, now you're getting into like things that I would like watch if they were on TV, like it was like at someone's house, but I would not put on for myself, like ever. Like Daria, I thought was really boring as a kid, and I still think it's like kind of boring, like borderline not that interesting. There's some good episodes, there's some funny stuff, but like it's just a slow-paced show that, in my opinion, doesn't really need to be an animated show. It could have just been like a regular like TV show. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, is actually maybe B tier. It's like there's some really good episodes of it, but it's like it's just one of those shows where, unless you're a big Hanna-Barbera person, like you're like a lot of those gags are kind of like whatever. Mike Tyson Mysteries, it's one of those shows where they loaded in wouldn't it be crazy if, and wouldn't it be crazy if, and wouldn't it be crazy if. And the writing's not bad, but it's just like too much of that to the point where it's like none of it is actually like genuine. And C Lab was just like one of those shows where it was so stoned out of its mind that like I couldn't really get it when I was a kid. I still am like, it's good, but it's like it's just one of those shows where like I'd rather watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force or like I don't know any of the ones above. Any of this stuff is all good. Would rather watch that. Boondocks, I think it's just more like there's too many episodes that are the same thing, just in a different concept. Otherwise, it would be like higher up. It's just like the thing about it is that the that it is like super reliant on this like cultural commentary thing that like I just don't like mesh with it that well. But the animation's fine. I like I don't really get a lot of the anime style stuff that like that style in there like kind of weird. Which I mean like yeah, it's Boondocks. I mean that's kind of how that stuff goes. Futurama, it's not even that it's bad, it's just that the thing about Futurama is that the first few seasons when you first watched it when it was on Fox were like really good. Like they were really good and really solid and like they just felt like they made sense. But then something happened like later on where the seasons just became more entwined with like trying to put like sci-fi stuff in there and like the episodes became progressively more just like the characters start to get stale is what it is, I think. And I just didn't like the show as much. I think that it's just it suffers from the same problem that a lot of those long season shows have, which is they just will eventually run their course and then kind of like dry out as far as what their joke ideas will be, and then they have to borrow ideas from other things, and those other things end up being like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and stuff like that, which is like nerdy, really nerdy stuff. So it's just, and then like TV references and movie references and things like that. So it ends up being like oh what are we gonna do next? I don't know, like but like otherwise like it's classic. Like some of the gags in Futurama are great. Like some of the characters are good. I love Zoidberg, but like you need more to a certain degree. I feel like it's just one of those shows like The Simpsons too, where it's just like they want to write so fast and they want to write so much into it that it like kind of suffers from it. And then Dr. Katz, I think it's like that's the original show where they like did the comic stuff, where they brought the comics in and let them kind of like do their own thing and kind of like splice in stuff that they did in with the written part to try to like make it kind of like two parts to the comedy, which is very similar to Beavis and Butthead. And I do like the animation style, and that show is actually kind of fun if you have never watched it before. It's a little hard to digest in the modern era, and the comedy parts are sometimes a little bit dated, which is not bad, but like it is what it is. Less dated than Shorties watching Shorties somehow. I don't know. I think that's more because they try to like translate it into a cartoon. Cleveland Show, that's just like the whole thing about Cleveland shows is like more Family Guy. There you go. MTV's Downtown. It's been a really long time since I watched MTV's Downtown, but it was like that was a show that I just didn't really get that much, and it was I think it's like I was young and I didn't get the references to, so I'd probably have to rewatch it. Alan Gregory is just like people really hate on this show, and I'm just like, this is fine. It's just like it's stupid, but like it's fine. And I think that the reason why people really hate on it is because they're like, it's a kid and this would never happen. It's like, no, I mean like this is stupid stuff, but like I mean it's at least somewhat funny. I mean like I think some of the stuff is actually pretty funny. And adult party cartoons like the opposites, like there's almost nothing funny about it. It's just really stupid. But sometimes you just want to watch something really stupid, like not even funny, just dumb. And that's totally like if you just want to watch something disgusting and dumb, totally okay. So C tier it is. Brothers Grunt, same concept. Really, like the same concept, Not much going on there, and honestly, not much going on there. There's a lot more going on there. Like there's more written gag stuff out. It's a little bit better in that term. It's been a while since I watched that too, so I'll probably have to rewatch that. Perfect Hair Forever. It's just like it's a gag show, so like I mean, I don't really have much more to say about that. It's just one of those shows that like was pretty funny if you watched anime back in the day and you were like watching it, you know. Lil Bush also was like funny back in the day because of the topicalness of George W. Bush. But of course, now watching it again, it's almost just like cute. Border Town is I think Border Town. I'm gonna say this like I put 3 South in D tier, and I put Border Town in C tier. Border Town is better than 3 South, and I think it's because the pacing is a little bit better than in 3 South. Like he learned how to do it a little bit better. But like I'll get to that in 3 South because I have my own opinion about that. I put it higher. I mean, I put it lower than the Nut Shack, and the reason why I like the Nut Shack is because I'm from the Bay Area. I grew up with a lot of Filipino people. I knew Filipino people, so like I understood some of the jokes that were in there. They're pretty dumb, but some of them are pretty well written and like curiously humorous to a degree where like you wouldn't be able to get a joke like that from any other show. And because of that fact, I put it in C tier. That, and it has the funniest theme song of all of these, the funniest. Crank Yankers is not a cartoon, and Clone High I barely ever watched. So the Clone High stuff it's really more like I don't like those kind of like Total Drama Island and like that sort of thing where it's like, oh, there's a bunch of characters and they have romance stuff and things. I don't really like that kind of thing. I don't know what's going on out there. So like Clone High never really appealed to me, but you know it's been like I watched it like years ago when I was a teenager. Inside Job I watched like a little bit because somebody was playing it at my house and it was like okay, like not bad. It was okay. Um, the writing was like surprisingly better than I thought it would be, and the animation was really kind of the thing that was more distracting. Love, Death, and Robots is good. It's just the problem with Death and Robots is some of them are better than others, and some of them are really quite obnoxious. But the main reason why I put it at C tier is because I've watched so many of these, I don't remember any of them. I don't. I've tested sound systems for the last like 5 years, and like we've used this for like a lot of testing, and I don't remember. I don't even know the plots to any of them. So I put it in there, even though I've watched it a lot of. I don't remember it. Drawn Together I put in here because it was one of those shows that, first of all, for Comedy Central to be like, yeah, we're gonna make a like we're gonna make a it's gonna be a show about I'm gonna put all these cartoon characters together in one. It's like, first of all, Comedy Central is not even like it's not Cartoon Network. Like, why would it choose like like a video game character as superhero? Like, it's all like kids stuff. It doesn't make any sense. And then they put them all together and then make like just poop and like and butt sex jokes like constantly, and like that's all the show is. Like it's like that's the entire show. It's, I don't know, like, but there were some good gags, especially with Ling Ling, the Pokemon character, which I thought was funny, and then Gay Link and the fucking superhero dude being gay almost like a bunch of times was funny, I guess. I don't know. It's been so long since I watched that show. Wait Till Your Father Gets Home is a classic Hanna-Barbera adult animated TV show. I've watched it one time. I thought it was okay. Aeon Flux, I like Aeon Flux, but the thing about it is that even though it has this like really great animated style and like it flows really well, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, and like um I just felt like it was all facilitating just the animation more so than the actual plot line of whatever was going on. I don't remember any of the rest of it. Close Enough is just regular show rewritten for human characters, and they have babies and say fucking shit. And the rest of it is basically the exact same writing. And I'd rather just watch regular show. Regular show is like a B or a C, and Close Enough has some interesting gags and some good stuff, but like it's just there's a thing about like those shows where like you could give it a little bit of character, but like you have to give it like good characters to make it fully better, like the full like impressive capability. But still, it's like C tier. So now we're past like all the stuff that I would consider as like really quite good. Like I'd still watch all of this. Like even Alan Gregory and Ren and Stimpy and MTV Downtown, of course, Boondocks, all that's still good. We're going to D tier, right? D tier is like stuff that I would probably not. I just choose not to rewatch. That I have watched. So Frisky Dingo. From my first of all is the fact that I do know what this show is, and it's like, yes, it's the show about the guy, the freaking weird looking villain guy, and this is the show that like, yeah, okay, so it's been forever since I watched Frisky Dingo. I just didn't really find it to be that interesting. I don't remember like any of it. That's probably the main reason why I put it in D. But I just remember the show being kind of being like kind of bland, and I never really watched Archer, which is probably one of these down here. So, but I did watch Frisky Dingo when it was on the air, and I got them confused. I was like, these are the same show? Like, I don't know. That's why I've been confused. I'm like, is this art? I'll say it's both, because like I don't really like either of them that much. They have that weird like FX style like writing and movements, like this and things happen and stuff. The animation style is kind of like not the greatest, and it's more about like the like we talk about the writing style stuff for like serious drama things like. I'll just talk about that when we get to BoJack Horseman. Robot Chicken. The reason why I put it is people will get mad at me for this. I think Robot Chicken is great from an animations perspective, from a parody perspective even. The problem is that you could pick and choose which parodies are good. There's a lot of there's just like every episode to me is like 50% good parodies and 50% just like the worst stuff that I like, most embarrassing, cringeworthy, awful gags I've ever seen. Those, and there's no in between. It's like you either have really quite funny parody where it makes sense and things are funny, or like it's just like a rape joke where it's like I don't mind. Like sometimes a rape joke is like it's awful, but it's like it's so ridiculous that like you have to be like, all right, it's just. But like it'll just be like a really obvious like fucked up weird joke that will not make any sense, and you'll just be watching it like, oh, that's not really a parody of anything. Like not a parody of what your like source material is. It's just like a character getting fucked. And that's how I feel about Robot Chicken, where it's like sometimes the humor is not really about the humor. It's about like just being ridiculous and how like, oh, look, all these characters get fucking broken apart. It's like, all right, whatever. F is for Family. I just didn't really give a fuck about it. Like watched one episode and was like, and Big Mouth, I was like, I've watched some episodes of Big Mouth and was like, this is like for somebody. It's like there's some sort of writing style that goes on with the Netflix shows where they do something topical, but then they interject just basically just like interjectory commentary, jokes, gags that are kind of like, well, actually, this is really what it's like, haha, and then some weird shit happens, and then it's like a joke that's there, and it's like a wipe away, which is a Family Guy kind of thing, but the Family Guy stuff's cleverly written. I don't really get that feeling so much with Big Mouth, and there's some bizarre stuff that's written, and it's like, but there's also some stuff that's like not that bad. It's just whenever people are focused on making like relatable content or like trying to make you feel like it's a relatable thing to laugh at, that it's like not as funny for me. Good Vibes, this is one of those shows that like I don't know who wrote this, but it's like somebody who thought thought this was the California lifestyle and made a joke, like a gaggy show about it. But it's like these kids would never leave their house. Like they would just play video games at home. They'd never go outside. Like the gags that are written in it are just like, they are characters within a world that exists where like the characters would never have a problem with life. It's like rocket power without any of the cool rad stuff happening. And Ugly Americans, it's been so long since I watched that I don't remember what the fucking plot was, but I do remember watching that all the way through. Don't remember it. That's why it's in D tier. Same with Lucy, Daughter of the Devil. I did watch that too. Don't remember it. It's in D tier. It's one of those shows that's just like more of a visualization thing. Drinky Crow Show is just like weirdly bland and doesn't go anywhere. Ripping Friends is just gross. George Liquor Presents, oh my god, that's like, the George Liquor stuff is like, first of all, you remember, is it that John Kay is Canadian? Is that what it is? Yes, it is. Okay, so it's just a Canadian guy making fun of Americans. That's all it is. It's a Canadian guy being like, wow, you guys are fucking weird. It's like, it's so bizarre. It's such a weird thing. Code Monkeys was just like, I don't know. Like, I remember it being on TV and Tuca and Birdie didn't interest me. I was like, this is a show that, like, two flat voice actresses voice the character. It's basically just, yeah, it's just fucking regular show, but female version. I don't know. Assy McGee was like, Assy McGee could be higher. It's been forever since I watched it. I just was like, and then with 3 South, I tried watching it recently too, and it's like, I cannot believe people are like, this is so good, so slow. The gags are like, they are straight up, comic panel gags. Like, they're written like comic panel gags, like almost as if like you were like reading the comic book as it was happening for every episode. It's a little weird. Like there's some stuff like that going on, but it's slow. And the gags are slow, and the gags don't hit all the time. And there's just stuff that doesn't like, and also like the quality is like, I've been watching it and like they don't have it in good quality, so it's like, I don't know, maybe that's more of it for me. But it's like, people are like, oh, it's all about the experience. It's like almost like you're going back in time, and it's like, no, this is not at all. I never had this experience. So for me, it's just like watching paint dry. Clerks, the animated series, it's just not as good as the show, and like also like, I mean, the movie, and it's also like not interesting to me. Mr. Pickles was just like gross and weird, and like I just didn't care about it. Queer Duck, I've watched a few episodes of Queer Duck, yes, and didn't really care about it. Happy Tree Friends, classic flash animations about animals killing each other, but they keep coming back to life, so it's funny. I don't know. Stripperella. I never really watched Stripperella. I just kind of put it in D tier for them double D's. And Forget About It. I've watched a few things. So I have talked about how Forget About It has a gag that was stolen, not stolen, but like borrowed in Smiling Friends. Like the first episode, the grandfather's like, "I hate you. I spit on you." And that shit's literally in Smiling Friends. Like, oh my god. So it's like I don't think that they knew about that, but like yeah, there's the same gag in both shows. Um, it's just too like it's literally Sopranos gags. Just that's all just making fun of Sopranos stuff. But they're in Canada, so it's about being in. It's just dumb. Baby Blue is too. It's just slow. It's been forever since I watched that, but I watched an episode recently. It was just slow. And the PJs, the thing about the PJs is that I love the animation. I've always liked the animation on it. It's like Bump in the Night, that claymation style. But damn, the show is boring. I maybe it's just because I don't get it, but it's like there's something about the PJs that's like I have to watch it at like 2 times speed to get it. All right, now we get into the stuff that's bad, at least from my perspective. So Bob and Margaret, I put at the top of bad. So the reason why I put Bob and Margaret at the top of bad is because this is a British show. So the British have an idea of Family Guy, right? And their idea of Family Guy is make two extremely boring people more boring. I don't get like the gags are not gags. They're like the humor is like not written humor. It's like there's this concept of like you have to be laughing at the situational irony of this situation. Ha 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 ha. It's not. There's nothing funny about it. And then they move to fucking Canada at the end. And it's like the humor is like, oh, we don't understand how to drive on the other side of the road. It's that bad. Like it's a show that has like almost no redeeming qualities and is slow and just like unwatchable. And it's weird. So I put that at the tip of the top because of that. BoJack Horseman, I've classically said, is a waste of people's time. So the reason why BoJack Horseman is a waste of people's time is because, number one, it's based on, it's really actually just it's literally a show based on Bob Saget. So, it's the life of Bob Saget. Like that's it. Like you just have a show where it's a horse that's the life of Bob Saget. The character is a dickhead. That's the whole show. This is the whole show. The character is just an asshole, and you're supposed to be like feeling for him or feeling something about the situation because he hurts these people that all are like reliant on him, that like you would only know about because of him. And the show is, and this is the reason why it's like polar opposites, because the Venture Brothers is a show about failure. Like it's classically a show about failure, where you have these characters that are exactly the same concept. So in Venture Brothers, you have the main character is Doc Venture. Doc Venture is a failure. He's basically a kid's movie star. He's barely been able to make it in life. He's making it off of residuals, off of the legacy of the things that he's done, and not off of anything that he's currently doing. Sound fucking familiar? Did you catch my drift? Okay, so like that's immediately the same fucking thing. But then, what's the show focus on? So Venture Brothers, it focuses on all these cast of characters that make the main character more interesting as a person, but also, you know, they're humorous because all these characters are just, you know, interesting characters and stuff. We just throw on some fucking animal heads. That's it. That's all they do is they throw animal heads on people and they make a character Asian. That's all that they do. There's no attempt to make these characters interesting at all. They are just boring sitcom characters. BoJack doesn't have to be a horse. He doesn't have. He could literally be any. He could just be a person. The whole show could just be people. They could just be stick figures. The show would have exactly the same effect. The only reason why they literally have that shit on their fucking faces is to fool you into thinking that they're any different than any other character in the fucking show. And there's multiple characters in the fucking show that are supposed to be fucking unique and interesting characters that are just like nothing. And from everything that I've watched in it, from like I watched like the first 2 seasons of it, and then I skimmed through like stuff that's been in like the other episodes from the other seasons. It's just a show where they just force on the failure. You can't just force the failure. You need to actually have ups and downs to make people feel things. He never has any ups. He's just always having downs, and it's just down, and nothing ever fucking changes. And he does get stuff that he wants, but people fucking die and shit happens where it's like you're supposed to feel something for that shit. I don't feel fucking anything for this. The show is like entirely pointless. So like at the bottom is just immediately it's just like this is one of the worst shows that I've ever watched. And then Napoleon Dynamite, which is just a crappy throwaway show, which is just completely written. Like, okay, what if you took a show that had charm and character and you threw all of that out the window and made an animated series about it? That's why that's an F tier. At least with BoJack Horseman, like there's an attempt at writing that doesn't exist in this. I don't even know if it's in this. That's the thing. It's like so bafflingly not right that like like okay. So with BoJack Horseman, at least with like the first couple episodes, you're like, okay, maybe I'll find something in this. But without any, like, if you spend any amount of time watching that show, at some point you're probably going to be either you're going to think, oh, this is a show, be fooled into believing that it's a good show by other people, and be like, oh, how did you feel about this really depressing scene that happened? Or you're going to be like, does anything happen? Does he do anything? Is he nothing? He just becomes more of a fuck up, and people just like keep hanging out with him for no fucking reason. Like, what's the point? So we have this massive section below where it's like stuff that I've never watched, have no opinion of. Let's zoom in on this stuff so like we can actually look into this. Disenchantment, I've never watched it, even though it's on there. I've never watched it. I had no interest in it. I was like, okay, so this is like Futurama, but gender swapped in medieval times. No interest. Brickleberry, no interest. I don't even know what that's about. Is this supposed to be Archer? It is. So I have watched some of Archer, and like I didn't think it was that bad. But it's been forever since I watched it, so I don't remember it. I don't know what Trip Tank is. And The Head, it's like, dude, I've never watched that. Like I would not watch any of this stuff. And like a lot of this is just like I don't know, Gary the Rat. The fuck is Gary the Rat? I'm afraid. Bro, this is a furry show. When did this come out? 2000? 2003? Dude, why would they make Frasier with a rat? Bro, they made Frasier with a rat? Why? Why would they do that? Oh, Axe Cop. That's what that is. I was like, what is that? I've never watched Stone Quackers. I will not. I don't know what that is. Is that Dope Town? I don't know. Full English. I feel like there's stuff missing here. For sure there's stuff missing here. That like there's Adult Swim shows that are missing here. Old school Adult Swim shows that are just. Hold on. Let me look up. Hold on. Adult Swim shows 2001. Because I'm like, okay, there's something not right here. Former programming. That's all on here. Oh, okay, so I see. I just didn't read it right. Super Jail. I feel like I am missing stuff that's on here though. Like what? So, but it's like anime stuff is not on here. That's why. And like, there's a lot of like live action shit that's like Saul versus the Mole Man is like not. Didn't I like put that on? Oh no, I was on a different list. I saw Saul versus the Mole Man. I was like, oh, that's an Adult Swim list, yeah. But like, acquired programming, isn't there like acquired programming that they didn't put on here? 2012 programs. No, it's all interesting. So what am I missing? I'm definitely missing some stuff, aren't I? Like, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of stuff. I'm like, there's definitely stuff that's missing on this list that I have not seen. That I have watched. Like, where's what's the one where's the British one? Monkey Dust? Is that on here? Where's Monkey Dust? There it is. I was like, where the fuck is that shit? Because I've definitely watched that before. That's B tier. I was like, where is that? Because I know I've seen this. It's just because I couldn't read it. I like couldn't find it. See, that's the problem. I can't read that shit. I can't find it. There's also way more than this. I know there's more than this that are like that. There's more that have come out since that are on here. Like I don't even. I'm not gonna talk. I can't talk about any of this stuff. I haven't watched any of this shit. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back and see what's our, because these are all animated ones. So like I don't really care about like that. Let's do fast foods. Do another one. A little fast one. Best fast food or fast casual. Oh, these are like, some of these I've not eaten. Never had. Never had. Damn, this is hard. This is some hard ones. Like, let's just start with the ones I've never had. So definitely no Moe's. I've never had Skyline. We don't have that here. I've never had Portillo's. Or have I had Portillo's? That's the thing. I'm like, was that the one that I ate? I don't know. I'm not even gonna say. I have had Cookout. That's crazy. I've never had Bojangles. I've never had Boston Market. Just never had it. I've never had Potbelly. I think I have had Potbelly one time in my life, but I don't know. I don't remember it. I've never had Zaxby's. We don't have that shit out here. I've never had Roy Rogers. Never had Whataburger. I have had White Castle. That's so crazy. I have had Swenson's. That's crazy. No fucking way, bro. Where's a Swenson's like? That's a different Swenson's, right? Swenson's drive-in is a different thing. I'm looking at it because I'm like, what is this? Okay, so different Swenson's. I was thinking of the ice cream. We do have Swenson's ice cream. I've never had Waffle House. I may have, but I would have been so young that I don't remember it whatsoever. Never had that. That looks like it's a not at all common thing. Never had that. Um, I've actually never had Raising Cane's. Never had it. Never had Jimmy John's. Um, Never had PDQ. Never had Penn Station East Coast Subs. Never had this Qdoba thing or this Stakofka. I don't know what that is. I've never had that before. Nope. But the rest of this, let's double check. The rest of this I've had. Yes. Oh no, Taco Cabana I've never had. And Wings Oven. Now we're talking. Okay, now we're back in business. All right. I gotta look back at this like it's a freaking. What's the worst? What do I definitely say is not good? Papa John's, Sbarro. Because we're ranking based on what I've had. I've actually never had Checkers too. If I have, I don't remember it. No. Burger King is D tier. Carl's Jr. is B tier. Baja Fresh is C tier. Arby's is B tier. A&W is C tier. Blimpie Sub, I'm just gonna say it right now, is the best. Blimpie Sub is like so fucking good, and it's been so fucking long since I've had one that I'm just going to put it at the top, even though I know I haven't had one in forever, and I know it's just not gonna be the same. They make the bread in the building, and the sub rolls are the best sub rolls of all time. Just the best. C tier, you're gonna hate me for that. C tier, you may hate me for that. Church's Chicken, C tier, it's fine. Cookout is it's like D tier. Like I know people really love Cookout. I've had it one time. I'm questioning people. Like that's because they had to make it so cheap. The food is so cheap that they just give you a lot of food, which is fine. But it's like, God damn. That's a lot of fucking crappy food for cheap. I can't eat all that, and it's not that good. Denny's, they're gonna be a lot of C tiers, man. Denny's can be B tier, but it's like there's so many bad things. And DQ is C. Del Taco is B tier. The best. I'll do it. Del Taco's the best. Culver's is I don't have a Culver's out here, but it's pretty good. I like it. And then Domino's is D. Pollo Loco is D. Firehouse Subs is C. Five Guys is freaking the best. Sorry, guys. Sorry, In-N-Out Burger. You're B tier. I'm sorry. Five Guys is better. It's true. I don't know what it is. It's the... Because you know what it is? In-N-Out Burger has a spread. That's it. But the burgers are good, but you have to get them stacked up, which makes them more expensive. The Five Guys burger is already expensive. But like once you do the math on it, it's like, oh, the In-N-Out burger is actually just cheaper. But Five Guys has more options for toppings and you can customize it better. IHOP is D tier. Jack in the Box is D tier. Although it's hard to say. It's C tier upon principle. Jersey Mike's is also C tier. Jollibee is B tier. KFC is like C tier. Little Caesars, I'm saying, is B tier. It's B tier. It's B tier. It is. It's good. Long John Silver's, I have not had it in a long time, so I'll just say it's C tier. Mickey D's is B tier. Panda Express is C tier. Pizza Hut is also C tier. Panera Bread is freaking D. It's hard to tell, but like it's D tier. The food is bad. Panera Bread. Okay, so Panera Bread is good for two things. One, if you go into a Panera Bread with a mug, you get I think there's like a specialty fee, where like if you fill up your own cup, they don't charge you more than like a specific fee, and then you get unlimited refills on coffee. And so what you do is you just go in there with your mug, and then you sneak in an extra thermostat, and then you go in and you get your coffee in your thermostat, and you throw it in your bag, and you go in, you get another coffee, and you just drink the coffee. And then when you're ready, you go back and you get your refill, and then you got 2 thermostats of coffee, and you get the fuck out of there. And then now you've got coffee all day that you can drink, black coffee. And the coffee there is really good. I actually think the Panera Bread coffee is really good. I also like their bagels. Their bagels are really good, and they have the good smear. But their food is not good. So I put it at D tier. But like there you go. Like you, just for some Wi-Fi and some good coffee and some bagels, it's like is what it is. I'd say B tier for Popeyes. I love Popeyes. Same thing for Quiznos. Quiznos is great. It's just like it's not the best, but Quiznos is good. Shake Shack is C tier. Sheets, we don't have Sheets out here, but I've gone to a Sheets and the food is okay. It's C tier. It's C tier, and it's also a gas station, so you can get other stuff. Sonic is pretty freaking good. I love Sonic. I love that stuff. Steak and Shake is also C tier. I know people would be like, you're gonna put Shake Shack and Steak and Shake in the same category? Yes. I honestly don't see much of a difference. I'm sorry. That's how it goes for me. Subway is very D tier. And then Taco Bell is like, it's up there. It's B tier. Wawa, we don't have them out here. I'm gonna just put it in C tier because the Wawa that I was at was pretty good. It's just that like Wawa food is like, as far as I can tell, like we don't have stuff like that in the Bay Area because we have Safeways. Because a Wawa is essentially like, there are so many people living in one area, and it's a little bit more spread out though, that you have to facilitate the necessity for fresh foods by not just having grocery stores, but also having these things called Wawas and Sheets and stuff like that. These like kind of like in between grocery and convenience stores. Those pop up a lot more. And Wawa's one of the more like clean ones that like just makes more sense. I feel like it's just because like I don't know if these states have the same thing, but like in California you can't buy cigarettes in a grocery store, so it's like people just go to a gas station anyways, so it's like maybe it's more of that sort of thing. But yeah, there you go. Wawa goes into that category. White Castle is straight B. Fries are good, the burgers are good, the little sliders are good. It totally gives you the shits, but it's B. Wendy's is also B. I'm gonna do it. I'm a fucking do it. Wiener Schnitzel's a freaking great, the best. The chili cheese fries are a classic. I'm telling you, like, every single one of these top tier ones are my favorite fast food restaurants ever. Like Del Taco, Five Guys, Wiener Schnitzel, Blimpie, top tier. And I'm gonna put Wingstop at the top as well. So we've now gone through the whole gambit for the whole entire thing. For the F tier, of course, Papa John's for just giving bullshit pizza. It's inexpensive bullshit pizza. That's it. Like the Papa John's like has this problem of making trying to do fast food items in pizza form and pizza items in fast food form, which is like this weird like mishmash of like incorrect stuff that doesn't make sense. And oftentimes it just comes out tasting like microwave food. Sbarro, I've never eaten Sbarro and felt good afterwards. That's the reason why it's an F tier. It's actually a tasty pizza slice. Too bad it's gonna wreck your stomach and give you a freaking anxiety attack for 5 hours afterwards. For your bottom tier, of course, Burger King. I just don't think the quality is near anywhere any of the other fast food restaurants above it is even. It's just not even there. There's something wrong with Burger King. They just keep hiring teenagers that don't give a fuck. And unless you go to a Burger King that's nice, because sometimes there are good Burger Kings. When you go to a good Burger King and get good Burger King food, it's so surprising because the food is designed to be made a specific way. They just don't give a fuck. So you always end up with stale fries and the wrong size. Oh my god, no. Like when I was growing up as a kid, they just gave us the small. you could order an extra large and get a small every single time, like clockwork. It was the worst. Or sometimes I just forget your sandwich. This would happen all the time. Just forget the sandwich. This was the worst shit ever. It's just like get ordering your food, going home, and realizing they just didn't put your sandwich in there, and being like, I don't know what to do. Domino's is just like the quality of the food is nowhere near as good as like other fast food pizza chains. If I was gonna give you my like ranking for fast food pizza chains, it's like by far Little Caesars has better quality than most everybody else, and if you get the thin crust, it's pretty good. It's You're going to get edged out with Pizza Hut over Domino's in most regards, except for the price range, because Domino's is cheaper. But in most cases, the Pizza Hut pizza is going to be better. Just pointing that out there. Um, no question. And then Domino's doesn't have very good side items. They're pretty bad at having items that are, different other than the pizzas. El Pollo Loco, it's just like I put it in D tier because like I've never had a great experience there. Every single time I've gotten the rice there, it's been dry. The beans dry. The chicken dry. Everything's fucking dry. I've never and like the salsas and stuff like that, they're not bad, but like I just would rather not eat there. It's just weird. Like it's a weird experience, and it's definitely not the kind of experience that I expect from like fast food, Mexican food or Latino food or whatever you want to call that. IHOP, it's just never a good experience. I like they've like the dinner food. Like if you're eating like lunch or dinner there, it's actually a better experience than the breakfast. The breakfasts there are almost always horrible. I don't know how many times I've eaten there where like you order like over easy eggs and they're not over easy. They're just like straight up like fucking almost undercooked. Or you order like a fried egg and it's not fried, or you order something that's just not the right thing, and like the only thing they seem to be able to get right is the pancakes. And then like as a kid I went there a lot, and like I'd get the same things over and over again until they would run out. They wouldn't offer it on the menu anymore. And the one for me was always they have a turkey sandwich, just a roasted turkey sandwich, and I would ask for it with no lettuce and tomato and like just mayonnaise and bacon, and that would be my go-to there, and it was pretty good, and I would get that until they didn't offer it anymore, and then at some point I'd have to eat like burgers. Had some weird, they threw seasoning in the burger, and it was like you could tell it was Lawry's seasoning salt like in the burger. And places would do this, and it was so gross. I don't know why. Like in the early, like mid 2000s, like Chili's did it, IHOP did it. Like I don't know how many places did this shit, but like and Applebee's did it, where they put Lawry's seasoning salt in the fucking patty. It was just, and then the patty, and you could tell that they put it in the patty because the patty would break apart while you were eating it. Like, I think they did it to like try to make it like more tender. Like, oh, we already know the meat's old, so like we throw this Lowry seasoning salt in there, it'll break apart in your mouth. But like, it didn't do that. It would just be bad. It would just taste like crap. It tastes like straight up Lowry seasoning salt. It was bad. So it wouldn't taste like beef. Yeah, and then IHOP and Subway is just like I've had bad experiences. I cracked a tooth on a chicken sandwich one time. Just had bad experiences there, and like I just always feel like the food is a ripoff, like just not worth the price. Like it's literally priced down to be as cheap as possible, and the quality of the food is usually not that good. And like the bread, because it's baked there, like if the person doesn't give a fuck, they could like make it wrong. So it's like almost never made right sometimes. Like you go to certain Subways, it's like not made right. And I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I'd rather, because Togo's isn't on here, I'd put Togo's in the best category if I wanted to make like a sandwich place a best category sandwich place. In the C tier, yeah, Baja Fresh I should maybe put in D tier. It's not the greatest, and I've seen so many flies and things, but like Chipotle and Baja Fresh both, like I'd rather eat Chipotle But even then, like I don't want to eat a burrito bowl. Like I can't eat a burrito bowl anymore because I've thrown up so many burrito bowls. Gotten sick from Chipotle so many times. Chick-fil-A is in here because I'll flat out say it. I can't my stomach cannot handle Chick-fil-A. The only thing that I can get at Chick-fil-A is the breakfast. Like with the bagel, with the little chicken bites, like I can get that. But if I eat anything with the bread and then the fries, I will be on the toilet crapping myself for hours. I will be like attempting to throw up. It's bad. Like I don't know what it is. It's like something to do with their oil or something. I don't know. And I always feel like it takes forever to get the food, and then like you get it, and it's like it's okay. Like I really don't get the experience that other people get from there. And then A&W I think is a great experience, even though the food isn't very good. In Canada, it's actually a B or an A tier, but here in the United States, it's just kind of dirty and like kind of the food is like mediocre. And I actually really like Church's Chicken. It's just that we don't have them where I'm at, and like the thing about Church's is that it's like very hit or miss. So you may get a good experience, you may get a bad experience. I don't know. The DQ, it's like we just don't have them where I'm at. Like I'd have to drive pretty far to get one, to get something from DQ. Firehouse subs, I've had it like one time. It was okay. It's like an Ike's to me. Like I'd say Ike's is like B tier. What's the other one? Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles is like B tier, A tier almost. There's a few good spots. Like there's one called Crust, and the Crust sourdough. I think that's pretty good. And then what's like the other one that's like I don't remember the other one that's like out here that is pretty good. But Togo's is usually the go-to sandwich spot out here. Jack in the Box is classic. It's like I actually think Jack in the Box is almost B tier, but it's like I can't hate on Jack in the Box that much. It's good. It's just like the quality of the food is very low. It's just that it's good. It's fine. It's just the quality is very low. It's priced low. That's how it goes. Jersey Mike's, that could be higher. It's just I haven't had it a whole lot, and like it's a little overpriced for what I wouldn't eat Jersey Mike's just because of the price. Like I don't eat a sandwich like that often. KFC is in the C tier. Like it would be B tier, maybe even higher, but it's in C tier simply because Jollibee's in B tier, and I like the Jollibee chicken more. But I actually like, and also Popeyes is there. But like I actually do like KFC quite a bit, and Shake Shack and Steak and Shake are in the same category because they're both just like generic burger places that I'm not like a huge fan of. I won't say generic burger places. People like certain like menu items off of them, or like prefer one over the other, or like prefer like a burger there over like In-N-Out, for example. But for me, it's just like they're just burger places. They don't mean anything more than like In-N-Out Burger is obviously a more go-to spot for someone like me, where I'm located. Panda Express is in C tier simply because there's no better there literally is no other option for Chinese food, for fast food Chinese food, unless you're counting things like mom and pop stuff, or the ones at the mall. But there's one here that used to be, it's like called Mr. Chow's, that used to be like all over the Bay Area, but now it's like just one location in San Jose. So it's like that's the only one that I know of that's like still like fucking straight up American Chinese fast food stuff. I kind of feel like Chinese fast food now. I might try to order some like Kung Pao chicken or something. Might just get Pan Express. Fuck it. Long John Silver's too. It's like it's been so long since I got that, and I don't eat fish anymore. So it's like I don't know. And Pizza Hut just has better items, like it's separate items, than Domino's. And then for like the B tier, it's just like this is like delicacies, and delicacies, and like just basic staples like Carl's Jr. Even Carl's Jr. could be C tier if I really like wanted to put it there. Same for Denny's and Arby's, but like Arby's to me, like I don't eat that often. Curly fries are really good. The roast beef I like. I like pretty much any of their sandwiches. Their sandwiches are all really, really good. Um, I don't know why people hate on Arby's. Arby's is actually like really good. Culver's is good. It's just to me like this and Wendy's are like their same fucking thing, dude. They're the same thing. They taste so similar. Like I'm not sure. I was like eating it like whoa. I'm glad that we like aren't really missing out on that much, but I'm sure the ice cream is really good. I just didn't eat it. In-N-Out Burger. I put it B tier because I hate going to In-N-Out Burger. It's just like a fucking zoo. And then you get it and then like you have diarrhea like after like 3 hours later anyways, like every single time, like clockwork. I people this is the thing that I've been talking about where it's like try to eat you eat Five Guys and immediately feel like God afterwards, but then like you eat In-N-Out Burger and your stomach is just like wrecking you. Jollibee is great. Jollibee has some of the most interesting menu items of a fast food chain in the world. The chicken is very good, and like it's also one of those places where I can get chicken and white rice. And like you believe me, this is like one of those things that like people are like that's weird, but like I actually think that's one of the best combinations: chicken and white rice. Fried chicken and white rice is really good because it cuts the fat. Little Caesars is just like classic. There's something about because also like once you realize that they have like the different pizza types, and those other pizza types are better than their like $5 pizza or $6 pizza or whatever now. It's just like on from there because you start realizing like oh we can customize this and the pizza's still cheap, like way cheaper than anything that you could buy at a pizzeria, and the quality of the ingredients are actually really good. The sauce is good, tangy, fresh. Pepperonis are fresh, like everything's fresh, and the dough is fresh, and like I've never had a bad experience honestly. Like I've always had pretty good experiences with Little Caesars as long as you don't get the ones that are hot and ready because those are you don't know. I've gotten sick off the only times I've ever gotten sick is off hot and ready's. And the Mickey D's, it's like there's this thing about quality control being enforced by not just popularity but being available, and sometimes the quality control doesn't meet its marks because of how available it is, and like that's the thing with McDonald's is how hit or miss locations are, but good locations tend to give good results. And if you find a good location, and I usually eat at one specific one and like near my work, and once you find a good location it's pretty much like guaranteed to give you one of the best, if not the best, fast food experiences in general, and the experience continues to be the same at the same level across the board. Whereas at even every other one of these other groups would probably fail at some point along the way if it was the same restaurant, you know? Like you go back to that same Popeyes, you go back to that same Quiznos, you go back to that same Sonic. The only one that might be a little bit hard to fool is like the Quiznos is as long as you were talking to the people that were there and you were like instructing them. Maybe the Wawa because it's a Wawa, like it's not a fast food restaurant. Possibly White Castle just because of how simple it is, how much of a process it is, and again like we don't have them here so I don't know. But it's the Taco Bell that gets the closest in consistency in this group. And with Taco Bell, and I had Taco Bell today, I think the consistency really comes from whether or not you're taking advantage of any of the upgrade stuff that you can do with it. The more you upgrade in Taco Bell, the more expensive your menu items get. And but the more serious the people behind the counter have to take the food. And so the results are better as long as you do that stuff. It's kind of weird. But if you just get the basic stuff, usually you just get slopped together. So, but McDonald's always has that kind of quality seal thing that's like as long as you go to one of the restaurants that's good, you're going to get good results. In-N-Out Burger is pretty similar to that. Same with Culver's or even like stuff like Carl's Jr. if it's a really good Carl's Jr., but it's hard to find those. And then my best ones, the main reason why I put these in the best tier is because it's been a while since I had a Blimpies. The Blimpies is at the highest high because there's something nostalgic about it for me. Like I love that fucking place. But it's also like there's something about like when the bread is baked there and it was like they slice the meat there too. It's all prepped by hand by specific people, and we would talk to the people that work there, and they're like, yeah, we make everything here. Every single thing's made here fresh, and like you would eat the food, and it would like actually be apparent, like, whoa, this is like all freshly made. It's also something like everything else kind of has equivalence to it. Like you can get something that's similar somewhere else. But even if I went to Firehouse Subs or if I went to fucking Jersey Mike's or went to like any of the other restaurants that any of the other places that make sandwiches, it would never come close for the Blimpie sub bread. Even though the Jersey Mike's bread is really really good, the Blimpie's bread had some sort of quality to it that was just like took it over the edge. And so I would say that that's probably the primary reason why I would give it to the Blimpie subs. And then Del Taco, it's the fries. They got I don't know what it is about the Coke machines there, but they got better Coca-Cola. I don't know if it's they I don't know what it is. It's just better quality Coca-Cola. Better sodas, better fries. The fucking fish taco is one of the best menu items of all times. Probably the best fast food menu item, period. It's amazing that they pump out so many of those, and they're not that expensive, and they're good. And you can get a lot of food for pretty cheap. And I grew up on this place. The main reason why I put it at the best is just simply due to the fact that for a while you could get tacos for 49 cents and burritos for 59 cents. I would get shit faced and then go to Del Taco and buy like four burritos and four taco whatever, and it would come out to like $3 something cents, and I would just feast on it, and it was amazing. So props to the Del Taco. It's no longer there, unfortunately. To get Del Taco now, I'd have to drive to like Fairfield, or like I'd have to go all the way to like I don't know, way the fucking far out somewhere, Salinas or some shit. I don't remember. But you have to go to SoCal pretty much. Five Guys, self-explanatory. You're either a Five Guys person or you're an In-N-Out Burger person, I feel. And with Five Guys, I think that it's just like how fast can you eat a burger is will give you the results that you are looking for. How fast the results will be based on how fast you can eat the burger is how good the burger is to a certain degree. And I could tell you I have eaten Five Guys burgers so crazy fast before that it's like it's not even funny. It's just like just like zoomed into my body. Wiener Schnitzel, I literally put it at the top for the chili cheese fries. That's probably one of my favorite, if not like it's like the Del Taco, fish taco, the Five Guys, just the double cheeseburger, with bacon, and Wingstop, just like the fucking wings, just regular wings, hot wings and lemon pepper wings. Like all of those are like my favorite items. And the Blimpie sandwich is just like a classic from my past that I would love to have again. Otherwise, if you're talking like favorite fast food items of all of these lists, this entire list, like if I had to say my favorite, I'll say my favorite from each one, sure. Because I mean, like I've had some of them I've had, but like I don't know what my favorite item would be. It's like Wawa. I'm not gonna put that in there because I don't live near a Wawa. It's just I've had it before. Same for the Culvers. So, Blimpies, it was like I would just do like a turkey sandwich with no lettuce and no tomatoes, like boring ass shit. Del Taco, obviously, it's the fish taco. That's the double cheeseburger with bacon. That's the chili cheese fries. We're talking lemon pepper, half and half lemon pepper wings, original hot. That's the double Western bacon cheeseburger. The triple beef and not beef and cheddar, but like the triple beef, or like just if you have just saying what item, obviously with curly fries, but the triple beef with curly fries. I don't. I mean, some people do beef and cheddar. I'm a triple beef guy. Denny's, it's the country fried steak and eggs meal, um, with customize with seasoned fries. In and Out Burger, I would just do a double double, animal style, no lettuce, animal style fries, or my personal favorite, which is to do an animal style fry with a Flying Dutchman. You break up the Flying Dutchman into the animal style fries, and you basically make carnival. Why do I say carnival? Carnivore style fries. Carnival style fries. Jollibee, I don't know exactly, but probably just the regular 2-piece meal with white rice and a side of gravy. The thin crust pie from Little Caesars, from Mickey D's. It's the double quarter pounder with cheese. Um, Louisiana. So for Popeyes, it always changes, but like I usually get the right now they have the wings can dine meal, but it's like chicken wings and chicken strips with fries and two biscuits, two sides of fries. You can get two sides you want, any two sides you want. But yeah, I would say like the wings and the strips are at Popeyes are great. But like everything at Popeyes is good. That's like not even funny. Quiznos, I would usually just get like sometimes. I mean, like Quiznos, literally, you get anything at Quiznos would be good. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like it's any sandwich at Quiznos is good. I used to just get the turkey with oregano and just like mayo. That's it, and it was good. Sonic, I haven't had Sonic in so fucking long, so I have no idea. Just cheeseburger on the tots, I guess, and a lemon. What is that called? What's the freezy thing called? It's called a what is that thing called? What is it called? They don't have a name for it anymore? Huh. It's just called slush now. They got rid of whatever the fuck they called it. I'm surprised. I thought they had a name for it. It's a slushy, right? It is a slushy. But why am I like misremembering this as something else? Unless I'm just being dumb and I don't remember what the name was. I don't know. I get it. Yeah, like the slushy would be a lemon slushy, with that guy. And T-Bell, it always changes. I always get the same thing there. I always get a bean burrito with no onion, and chicken quesadilla with a Baja Blast freeze, large Baja Blast freeze. But recently, I've been getting the like specialty item stuff because it's cheaper. White Castle sucks so much because there's only one item that you can fucking get, but it's B tier because it's the sliders. But like, yeah, no, it sucks. That's the only thing you can get there. There's nothing else, right? Wendy's, it's been so long since I've had Wendy's. I think the only thing from Wendy's that I could say is like the best thing is the Baconator, but even that, like, I don't like that much. I guess Dave's single, like Dave's double. I don't know. The chicken nuggets with the frosty specifically. I'll just say frosty, the frosty by itself. Just a stupid burrito, crappy burrito with the barbacoa. A&W, just a fruit beer float. Screw it. Chick-fil-A, man, That's a hard one. The probably because I do like. I think their best item is the breakfast. I think so. Yeah, but if I go there, I'll have to get that stupid spicy chicken sandwich. And then at Chipotle, I always get steak quesadilla because I used to get a bowl and the bowls made me sick. So like I get a steak quesadilla with the green chili salsa and brown rice and black beans. And Church's chicken's just 2 piece with cornbread. DQ, I don't even know. Blizzard, just Blizzard. That's it. I was to say Blizzard. Firehouse subs. Again, I don't remember what I got there last time. I get whatever the hell I got there last time. I don't know. Jack in the Box. It's the tacos. You get the munchie meal. The late night munchie meal. You get one of those. What is it like? Just like ultimate cheeseburger with half and half fries, and 2 tacos with a Dr Pepper. There you go. That's the meal right there. Jersey Mike subs, I don't know either. It's like whatever. KFC, I always get. Dude, honestly, the pot pie. I'll say the pot pie. That's probably my favorite thing there. I still think that like the chicken's okay, but the pot pie is great. Shake Shack, I have no specific items. Same thing for Steak and Shake. No specific items. I just get a cheeseburger. I don't give a fuck about that stuff. And Pizza Hut, it's like the best thing is their square pizza. Like whenever they have the square pizza, it's so good, so much better than their other pizza. And I don't know about sheets. I like haven't had sheets in forever. Same thing for Long John Silver's. Panda Express, the best thing that I like. My favorite thing is the teriyaki chicken when they have the sauce on top. But if you order it online, they never put the sauce on it, so it sucks. So you have to go in person. But yeah, probably like teriyaki chicken, half Beijing beef, with all chow mein. And then Burger King, it's chicken fries, right? Right? Dude, no, I don't like anything at Burger King that much. Like, I can't really give anything specific to that. This cookout, it's just like what a bunch of hot dogs and every like 9 million things. Domino's is again like I have no specific type of pizza there to get at all. A Pollo Loco, again, I haven't had it that many times. Not that great. IHOP, the best item that you can get there. Don't get the breakfast food. Get get something else that's on the menu that's seasonal, and just trust me on this. Panera, it's bagels and coffee, and at Subway, it's I have no idea for Subway. It's been forever since I went to a Subway. Probably like the cold cut sandwich. I don't know. Papa John's a fraud, and Sabaros gave me a fucking anxiety attack last time I was in New York. Well, that's